everybody, and welcome to the Comedy Cellar Nightly Show, the month of August. I don't have any kids, and I don't know anybody, but it's almost time for school. You can say it if you're just an adult because it doesn't matter, but the summer's almost over, and I couldn't be happier. My wardrobe is not made for summer. I'm a fall guy. I like wearing jackets. I like having pockets. I can't wait for it to be over. And then, of course, football starts, which is way exciting. Oh, thank you, Anonymous. Happy birthday month to Dave. And who the hell's Mike? Oh, Mike. Right. Yes, of course. Mike, is your birthday at the end of the month?
Yeah.
So you're not a Leo?
No.
Loser. Ooh, this is on. Sorry. Yes, my birthday is in 2 weeks. It is my birthday month. 2 weeks, August 13th. It's on a Sunday this year. Not a lot of fun, but apparently I'm at the Comedy Cellar. Maybe I think August 14th, day after my birthday, which we're making a birthday show at 9:35. The show was supposed to happen last night, but of course, as you know, it didn't. If you listen to my podcast, you know why. So August 14th is supposed to be the big day. So we'll see. Anyway, speaking of the Comedy Cellar has a big thing happening this Saturday at about 4 Regal theaters. You know, the theaters that are named the Regal brand. This Saturday at 8 and 10, there's going to be an uncensored live stream from the Comedy Cellar in the movie theater. It's a little experiment they're giving a try to. And the likes of Yamanika, our friend, who hopefully is going to be on the August 14th show, and Zarna Garg are going to be appearing on this first of its kind, possible groundbreaking thing that is going to happen on Saturday night. I know one of them is in Manhattan on Delancey Street, and the other ones are in Long Island and maybe Westchester. Marcy, my daughter, turned 21 Thursday. She's a Leo too. Well, I like that. Hello, Marcy. Nice to see you. Hello, Anonymous. Hello, a week late. And okay. And I'm just saying hello to everybody. Anonymous is being weird as usual. Anyway. Yeah, she's already laughing already. Let me bring in my guest tonight, Molly Heckerling, basically the co-host of this, besides Mike being the producer, of course. This would be a good trio for us for forever. If you ever want
the trifecta. 2 Virgos and a Leo.
Oh, you're a Virgo too? Your birthday's in September?
I'm a Virgo. Yeah, I'm September, but late August Virgos are also a thing. It makes sense that you're a Leo. Big, bold, confident vibes.
I am a classic Leo.
I
need attention all the time. But wait, when's your birthday? Unless you don't want to say.
September 3rd. It's the audio again.
Well, it sounds good now.
It does? Oh, okay.
Molly's having some trouble, but right now it sounds good.
It went right back to the Yeti.
Yeti mic, and apparently it goes off by itself. But
let's turn this into like a reverse ad for the fucking Yeti on a podcast and be like, these are the shittiest cables I've ever experienced on a mic. If you breathe on it wrong, it unplugs itself. Like, fuck you, Yeti, get your shit together.
Yeah, that's weird.
A Chinese newspaper.
That's really bad, and that would drive me nuts. Which is why Mike said he got rid of the Yeti, because nobody likes it when you breathe on a mic wrong and it's gonna cut out. So that's no good. But wait, when's your birthday? Why are you ignoring the question? This is weird, right?
It's September 3rd. It's September 3rd.
Thank you.
1985. In case you
didn't have to say that part.
Steal my identity or think I'm concealing anything.
How old does that make you?
It makes me old as shit. It makes me, I'm going to be 38 in September.
Oh, 38. That's nothing.
Yeah. That's nothing. That's plenty of time to have a midlife crisis and start again.
Well, congratulations on becoming just 38.
Congratulations on your birthday. Sunday Fun Day is a great day for
Sunday's the worst day. I hate going out on Sundays. I am not happy on Sundays. I don't like anything about it. I usually like to celebrate on the day, but I really hate Sundays. And I hate when it's, quite frankly, I hate when it's on a Saturday. I like it when it's on a Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, Thursday. I don't like when it's on the
Monday,
weekends.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Monday, Thursday, Friday. I don't know how to speak English. Monday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Thanks for
Well, you
knowing
are
that.
a Leo. Leos
Did
love
a little
attention.
bit.
You could totally do that, like, it's my birthday week
Well,
thing, and
it's my
just
birthday month. It's starting already. I'm going out to dinner on Thursday to my favorite place in Fort Lee, New Jersey. It's a Korean
okay.
barbecue place. I'm very excited. Going with Outside Steve, Mike
Wee.
from the
Mhm.
Comedy Club. I love it there. I went there
Yeah.
on my last actual birthday, which was a Saturday night, with my sister and my brother-in-law and a date of my choice, who actually just turned 30. Her birthday. She's a Leo also. And
Oh,
she was in Greece this year. So anyway,
hello.
Who'd she play?
what?
Who'd she play?
Oh no, that's funny. Sorry, I was looking at Anonymous because Anonymous, if you think we're going to Billy Joel with you, you're mistaken because we don't know who you are, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to call you out like this, but we don't want to go to Billy Joel with somebody we don't know. So you have
I
to
love.
either. I mean, we don't know your name. We don't know where we know where you live, but we don't have a picture. I personally don't want to hang out with somebody I don't know anything about. Somebody named Anonymous. Molly, am I wrong here?
I love that. Like before the show even started, you're like, Anonymous is being weird. So I'm like, are they sending you the staple dick pic before the show
they're
to be
going.
like, break a leg, like, you know?
Well, we're all talking about going to Billy Joel together, which is nice because that's where I met Marcy and Catalina and everybody. So Catalina's coming all the way from Chile in February to come here and see Billy Joel and everything. But we want to know more about Anonymous. It's only fair. And if your name is Anonymous, we don't know your actual real name. We don't know anything about you. It's a little weird. We only know you may or may not live in Manhattan. Are you even a woman? This is the
Are
kind of
you?
yes. A week late, you got it right. Old man yells at chat. That's right. Anyway, the reason I wanted Molly on the show is because we were talking yesterday about Pee Wee Herman. Molly, did you ever meet him in your travels? In
I
your
didn't.
high
I
society
was.
circles?
I wish I had. He seemed like a genuinely kind person. I was slightly Pee Wee adjacent because the little person in Big Top Pee Wee, who his name was Mishu. He was the world's
Oh, I know
smallest
Mishu.
man.
Wait,
Yes,
I remember
Mishu.
Mishu. Where did I know Mishu from? Was he on the Morton Downey show?
He
I
was.
remember
He
that
did
guy from the 80s.
tons.
He was a bit. Wait, wasn't he in Twin Peaks?
He
Was that
might have
Mishu?
been. David
Okay.
Lynch loves a dancing midget, and Mishu was the smallest man in the world, and he was the stunt double for the baby in Look Who's Talking. There's a shot where like baby Mikey's walking towards an oncoming truck, and it's Mishu from behind, and that's so weird, Mishu from behind. But when I was like 3 years old on the set, I really loved walking around with him because we were the same size. So it's like we're buddies. This is me and
Oh.
Mishu. Mishu! Yes.
No, I don't know Mishu. That is not who I thought it was.
He's great. So he's great in Big Top Pee Wee. He was just a great performer. He did a fuck ton of stuff, just a general badass. I think he was a Hungarian immigrant. So I also love Pee Wee's Playhouse as a kid. It's just like that weird piece of your childhood that's edgy and strange, and it introduces you to this whole world of, I don't know, risk taking in art and weirdness that, I cried when I saw the news. I felt like such an idiot. I sat there and I like wept on Instagram.
Well, your childhood
and
was
then
Pee-wee's.
overplucked one of my eyebrows.
You can't tell.
Thank you.
Your childhood was Pee-wee's Playhouse. Mine was way before that. I actually, knew him from the Letterman show. When he had all these appearances. When the Letterman show was on at 12:30, he would have a lot of comics on. I always remember talking to Sarah about this, Silverman, when she used to be on Conan at 12:30. That's where people got to know her. And I remember she had a show at the Zipper Theater where people were coming to see her because they knew her from the Letterman show and her appearances there. And my friend and I did that with Sandra Bernhard. because we knew her from the Letterman show. We went to see her one-person show down where Stomp is at the Orpheum Theater on 8th and St. Mark's and 2nd Avenue because we knew her. So I remember telling Sarah, I'm like, you're like, if I could see being a teenage boy or even a college kid knowing you from, because back then seeing a female comic was a huge deal. You know, the fact that 2 boys from New Jersey wanted to see Sandra Bernhardt perform was a huge deal. You did not go to see female comics unless maybe it was Joan Rivers, and even that you didn't do.
There were so few and far between. It was like Joan Rivers and Rita Rudner and
right.
And
but
Sarah Silverman, like, to her credit, was like a, you know, because there still weren't many female comics.
Kind of broke the mold.
And it's like, who's this? Yeah, who's this hot young chick who's also fucking hilarious?
Yeah, and Sandra Bernhardt was, you know, questionable on her hotness, but there was something sexy about her for sure.
She was sexy. It's just raw animal magnetism.
But again, you know, that was just something that you just didn't. We would not pay tickets to go see Rita Rudner usually or something like that.
Right.
But Sandra Bernhardt, we, you know, she was doing this show. We're like, we want to see it, and I think that same thing happened to Sarah. And I only bring it up because I went to go see Pee Wee at Carnegie Hall on his one appearance at Carnegie Hall on June 20th, 1984.
Yeah.
Because we knew him from the Letterman show. My friend Ron's like, hey, let's go see Pee Wee. Sold out show. And
not Ron Zimmerman.
No, Ron Ponchak. You don't know him.
Oh, okay. Sorry. You don't know everybody, guy, Molly.
He's the head of the medical center in Boston or something like that.
Okay.
Great guy. Like Mitch Kumstein, my roommate from college. Great guy. So we went. I remember we went, and we only knew him from the appearances on Letterman and stuff. And he was so interesting and so funny. And we went, and the room was a little bit big for him. Some of it was good. It wasn't the best it could be. I remember it went a little too long for what he does. He's
I feel like
burst kind of guy.
He started off in the Groundlings, right? I like that was probably the perfect setting, was the Groundlings theater, because like it was, you know, full of Hollywood people, but also it was a relatively small theater where you could really fill the room with your energy. And he probably just busted out and did something insane that no one's ever seen before with all his props and puppets and the whole shtick.
Or I remember people were yelling out, "Where's Dave?" You know, for Letterman.
What the fuck's Dave gonna be there for? You know, it's like that's like reading a Harvey Picar cartoon and being like, "Where's Dave?" Like, you know.
No, it was all. But then he goes, "If it wasn't for David Letterman, I wouldn't be here today." At this, you know, he's the reason I'm here at Carnegie Hall, which was really nice. Everybody got excited, and it seems like he really got it, and that's kind of cool. So I just have some listening. Which the stuff, you know, he'd been around a long time. You know, he was 70. I didn't realize. And he auditioned for SNL in 1980, which I did not know, which is very interesting.
Okay.
He didn't get, and the Pee Wee Herman show, which was the one that we were all kind of introduced to him even before Letterman, which was on HBO when I was a little kid in 1981. Was a live midnight show created by the Groundlings.
Oh wow, I've never seen that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You haven't seen the early HBO one? Because I remember it vividly. It was on all, you know, back in 81, 82. They didn't have a lot of stuff. It's not like today. So
it was like the Dumont Network and CBS.
How do you know that stuff? You're so funny. So yes, it was just like that. So, you know, we just saw you know, over and over again, they would play it. So they taped a performance at the, you know, one of these live shows at the, what is it? Somewhere in LA, the
Roxy.
Yeah. The Roxy. Yes. Thank you, Mike. Yeah. See how young he is.
He was so cute. Yep. He could get it. He was always cute. I would have done Pee Wee Herman.
It's on Max. I guess they probably put it up today, maybe even. So yeah, you can see the early one. It's really great. It's slow in parts, but I remember it so well, you know, because it was something you'd never seen before. It was totally entertaining, and that was 81. So they were doing these midnight shows, the Groundlings, which sounds like a blast. And in LA, of course, somebody is going to catch on to that. What were we going to say?
No, it just seemed like a really cool environment because you had him, you had Julia Sweeney, you had all these like really cool performers that were
The
just sort of
Groundlings.
like,
And Phil Hartman.
the Groundlings. Yeah, exactly. It seemed like a very cool vibe. Whereas SNL, I interned there for a while. It feels much more like sort of a stuffy institution. Maybe it was on fire back in the day, but like Groundlings always seemed like it had this sort of very cutting edge energy. Did they pass on Pee Wee Herman when he auditioned for SNL, and then after he becomes famous, they have obviously like have him on the show doing his shtick,
we'll get to that
hosting
in a
and
second.
stuff.
So when the first time he was on Letterman in '82, after the HBO thing takes place, then he starts coming on the show, and he actually tried to pitch Pee-wee's Big Adventure. He's like, Dave, we're trying to pitch a movie, and everybody was laughing at him. It's so funny now when you think about it, but he actually used the forum to try and get the movie. Obviously knew what he was doing, because he certainly moved to a level that whatever he was doing should never have been a movie star. I mean that's insane.
Perfect leading man.
Exactly.
Everyone roots for Tom Hanks and Pee-wee.
Exactly right. So actually, let me show you some pictures I put together so we can look at his we can share what the greatness of what Pee-wee was. Wait, actually, before I do that, Mike, do you want to play? Do you have that clip I sent you? The YouTube thing?
Wait, well, you didn't send me anything today.
I emailed it to you, Mike.
Did you get that thing I sent you?
From my work account.
I'll have it in a second.
Okay.
I thought you didn't send me anything earlier.
I did, and then I sent you one anyway.
I have it ready.
I absolutely said that. You're absolutely correct. And then I sent it anyway to make you look ridiculous.
What time stamp is it?
About 4:30, 4:40. What it is the show that he kind of based his maybe some of his show, but definitely his costume on and stuff. And it's called the Pinky Lee Show.
Okay.
And it's from, I guess, the 50s. It's even before I was born. Yeah, that's so check. So go to the beginning, Mike, because wait till you see the creepiness of this opening.
With a carload of gags, giggles, and games for everybody. And now,
Oh.
But watch this. He's doing. That's fine. That's fine. Maybe. Now it gets creepy. Goes back. Yes. Goes back. Oh boy. Oh no. When you're doing a kid show, this is creepy. Am I wrong?
Well, that was his mistress.
Well, it's not like he tried to make out with the baby.
Well, it's not like it. Wait, that wasn't really his mistress, was it?
I don't know.
Or you're just saying that. It's funny.
I don't know that it's not. I don't know that it is.
It's the intern he was stopping.
So now go to that marker at the 9-minute mark I told you about. Look at this. And they do a puppet show. Is that the?
you know anything about my?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God! Oh no! Oh no!
And then you have a minstrel show right in the middle, and that goes on for about 10 minutes.
Oh, it was the 50s. I didn't know Al Jolson could puppeteer.
Oh yeah, it was amazing. And it's silent too.
Yeah.
All right, Mike, that's good. Yipes.
You don't want to see the end of the Step and Fetch It puppet show?
It really goes on for about 5 minutes.
Oh God.
And you can see the skeleton there is a little precursor to the Uncle Floyd show and Pee-wee's Pee-wee's Playhouse. So
yeah.
Anyway, yeah, Mike, it's so boring after that. That's why I was like, don't even waste your time.
He talked to his bookie for a few minutes. Well, Larry had a woman change her bra. So.
Yipes.
So wholesome for the children.
All right. So now I'm going to share my screen and go back to where we were. No,
Just make sure you close all the bestiality tabs before you share your screen.
You know what? That's exactly what I have to do. I think that's where I messed up. Let me get this. Here we go. Okay, Mike, I'm sharing. So this is actually what he based his name off of. It's a small harmonica from this called the Pee Wee harmonica. And he got his first name from this and his last name from a kid he grew up with that he thought was a little bit much.
Herman Cain.
Yeah.
You know
Oh, you
what?
know?
Herman Cain, 9.9. He kept saying 9.99.
Anyway, this what you got to like about this guy when we go through these is everything that he kind of kept these relationships. So this is him on the Gong Show from the 70s. So he was just an act, and the guy next to him is John Paragon. He died last year, and that guy used to play the genie.
Jambi.
Yes, right. Mecca Lecca Hi, Mecca Hi Ni Ho. And so they were friends here on the Gong Show. And here's something crazy is that on the Gong Show, I don't know if you're familiar with the way the Gong Show works, but there were 3 people that either gong you or they give you, a score of 1 to 10. And Waylon Flowers and Madam
Oh, wow.
were one of the judges. And the weird part is 10 years later, he was on the Waylon Flowers and Madam show, her own talk show. I like when things like that happen.
Me too.
Like they gave him a 10, so I think he was happy with her. So
they bonded. She's like the puppet version of Joan Rivers.
Yeah, I suppose she was. And this is him on the Dating Game. And so, did you know he was on multiple times on the Dating Game?
Again, we could get it.
Get the video, you mean?
No, he could. When people say, "Oh, they could get it," means like, I'd fuck them. Like, they could get it.
I don't know whether he ever won. I'm gonna guess not. But
he never got it.
And this is him in 1980. There was a movie I was obsessed with called Midnight Madness.
Yeah,
this isn't from Midnight. This isn't Midnight Cowboy.
No, it is absolutely not. This is 20 years later or so, maybe 12 years later, actually. No, Midnight Madness. And the reason I liked it because Michael J. Fox was in it.
Oh, my God.
And it's his first movie. And David Naughton, of course, the Dr. Pepper guy and from American Werewolf in London. And and my favorite actor of all time, Eddie Deason. We all know from War Games and Grease and so many other things. Hey,
I don't know him from anything. I don't know him from anything except looking like I'm related to him somehow.
That would be the farthest thing from my mind, but no, Eddie Deason was a legendary geek, like a nerd, like it was in every movie played Eddie Deason. Right, Mike?
Yep, and he was the voice of Mandar on Dexter's Lab.
Oh, is that right?
Shit, really?
Hey, Lightman.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, he was. We were obsessed with him. Me and my friend. When he was in something, we were so excited. I got an autographed picture of him from a long time ago. I don't know where I put it, but it was really. He was a big movie buff. So my friend used to work at a video distribution company, and he used to apparently like call up for classic movies, and he got me a autographed picture. It was very exciting. I think I had it in my college dorm.
You had a poster of him in your college dorm room.
I did.
Instead of Farrah Fawcett, it was him.
Right. Most kids would have that.
Pose.
Right. I had Eddie Deason and I think Lee Majors. But this is him and the Blues Brothers. Again, 1980. So this is like probably during Groundling. He was just an actor and a comedian.
When was Cheech and Chong's next movie? He was in Cheech and Chong's next movie, and he sort of played the bellhop and himself performing at a theater later that night.
You mean this?
Yes. I fucking love it.
I would say this is about 1981. And yes, not only did he had a juicy part in this, not only did he play the bellhop, like you said, who was, mean and nasty to Cheech and Chong, which is just rude. But yeah, then they let him do stand-up. It was very strange what they let him do. And obviously these guys got it and they're like, dude, you got to be in this movie. And they let him do stand-up. I mean, Mike, I don't know if you've seen Cheech and Chong's next movie. It's
It's from
legendarily
1980.
not as good as Up in Smoke, so it didn't do very well. But
I actually
they-
like next movie better than Up in Smoke, but maybe because I was a kid and that's the one I saw first, and
Right,
it's
that's
just so
definitely
silly.
the way it works.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so it's great, and just the fact that they gave him this unbelievable forum where there's footage of him in a pristine footage in 1981 where he's playing on the stage and everything. It's really cool. And then they put him in their next movie, which was Nice Dreams, which is a legendary kind of role that everybody knew because he was like, I'm gonna get you the money. I'm gonna get you the money. And there was a voice that people used to use, like a tagline people used to use all the time. So they obviously they liked him before he was actually Pee Wee Herman, even though they knew he was Pee Wee Herman. Those guys are comedians, so they got it. I like that.
He seemed like a genuinely sweet, kind person that if you knew him, he probably was just so lovely. And I remember in the 90s when everyone raked him over the coals because he was caught masturbating in that porno theater. And he was like the butt of every joke on late night. And when the whole Me Too movement hit, I had this bit where it was like, wow, we really owe Pee Wee Herman an apology because like he didn't force himself on anyone. He had his own consent. Like, plus it was like the 90s. They didn't have like porn. Like it's what you did back then. It would be weird to go to a porno theater and not have your dick out,
That's the thing, Molly. What you don't know, being so young, is that I used to go to actual porno theaters because there really wasn't anything else.
Right.
But when VHS tapes came out, he should not have been in that theater. It's a little weird.
He tried to be incognito with the beard and the hair and stuff. It's just, in retrospect, it seemed like such a minor offense.
Oh, it's such a minor thing. Exactly. That's the thing. But, if you are Pee Wee and you are in the movies, why, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
But I agree. This is him on Mork and Mindy.
Oh my God.
The guy did so much stuff before of what we know about him. He was an actor.
Yeah, even in the midst of Pee Wee, he was doing Mystery Men. He was doing Buffy. He had so much more range than I think a lot of people acknowledge it and give him credit for it.
Well, actually, that's why Phil Hartman was pretty angry at him because he was thought he shouldn't just concentrate on the Pee Wee character because he was really good at doing a whole bunch of different characters. But I think Paul knew this is the ticket for me. Pee Wee's the one. I don't know why. I just got a feeling. And this is the HBO special. I remember that doll so well. It's so funny. It's not, some of it's not laugh out loud, but they just let it play. I don't think you could make this show today. Meanwhile, it's taped from a live performance, but I don't think people would be okay with something like this today. It's a little slow at parts, but because of what it becomes, it's quite fascinating.
There was just so much about what he did that felt like so liberated and fresh that even if it wasn't like all hitting, like even just his delivery and the changes in his cadence could be so hilarious. Just being like, I'm going to be la la la. And it's just like that shift in and of itself is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, the way, right, the shifting, and you see it on Letterman too when he's, it's the up and then the down.
Yes.
I agree. It's really, that's a real character. There's real character study.
So much dynamics.
Yeah, and that's when he started doing Letterman, and he would always have bits, and he'd always come prepared.
Oh, look
Howard
at
Stern
Dave's
talks
hair.
about this all the time. Yeah, isn't that great? But Howard Stern talks about that all the time, that he always would appreciate a guest that would come on prepared. Somebody that would come on with bits that you're supposed to be doing. Somebody would do the work. Steve Martin would always do that on the Tonight Show. And that people, that's that is tough to do if you're on 4 or 5 times a year to not repeat stuff. And,
Yeah, absolutely. I'm still recycling jokes from 10 years ago. Oh my
you
God.
are. This is fun. I remember this, and this might have been in 1985. This is like before Pee-wee's Big Adventure. This is from Meatballs 2.
Oh my God.
And I guess I remember because he was already on Letterman and everything that he was in this movie as the crazy bus driver. And I remember it. We're like, I remember my sister going, "Hey, that's Pee Wee Herman driving the bus, but he's going as Paul Rubens for some reason." we were all confused.
That's
This
so
was
funny. Well,
definitely post Pee Wee.
his real name was Paul Rubenfeld.
Yeah, I know. I just saw that today.
I know.
So this was him doing Evening at the Improv as just a stand-up comic. And I guess, at Evening at the Improv, they would always have a celebrity host. So Morgan Fairchild was the celebrity host that week. They had lots of celebrity hosts. I guess every week they would have one on. That's the way Bud Friedman used to do it. He just died, or maybe a year or two ago. And the reason why this is so interesting is because, as we know, he ended up using Morgan Fairchild a year later in Pee-wee's. I love that he would meet people and stick with them if he liked them. She helped him with the bit on Evening at the Improv, and he goes, "Oh, we should work together again." And paging Mr. Herman, Mr. Herman.
I love that they did the voiceover for him. And he seemed like a person who was loyal to people, and people were loyal to him. And that just to me also screams like he must have been a good person.
Yeah, but this scene in general, I mean, I don't think I ever laughed so hard when he was just doing the lyrics, when he's mimicking the lyrics because he knows the whole script, that might have been my favorite part of the movie, I think. And then the voiceover, right? So he's already doing the lines. He's making really funny faces that he's in this scene, but then he's also like he's doing the dialogue because he can't stop. And then, the topper of the scene, paging Mr. Herman. I mean, it's like this one scene had everything you want in a comedy movie.
My favorite part, I don't know why it got me so hard the last time I watched that movie, is when he's stealing his bike back and he's disguised as a nun in the background of that scene. And they're like, "Oh, young so-and-so, you're such an inspiration." And he's like, "I'll say," and he takes the bike and he's like, "I'm going to start a paper route right now."
Well, I think we were just talking about that last week. We were just, because that kid, Jason Hervey, was a genius in that. Like, I have been ready since last. Are you saying I'm not a professional? And even a kid could be courteous.
Wasn't he the dickbag brother on the Wonder Years or something like that?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That kid was a genius. He's also in Back to the Future. What's a rerun? Yeah. So in 1985, that 1985, that kid was on fire. That's, if I go back in life, I mean, that's what I want. I want to be like, wait, weren't you the kid? And back then, you have two hot movies where everybody knows your dialogue and people don't even know who you are. That's fantastic.
And now he's just grown up and turned into a potato or something. I don't know.
Well, he married a porn star. So.
Oh, good for him.
Yes, isn't that?
Oh, nice? Okay, good.
The last thing he did was on the Scott Baio reality show.
Oh God! Oh no! Never mind.
I wish I was kidding. And here's the best thing about this: this is in 1984. Maybe they're filming 85. It comes out, and in 1987. Look, he's still hanging out with Morgan Fairchild. I love it.
He was so sweet. Was he? So what was it? Was he just like asexual? Was he gay? Did he?
Excellent
fuck?
that you're bringing that up. Okay, so here's the thing. First of all, he has not been known to be in a relationship since the mid 90s, but he might have kept it private as he did his cancer for 6 years. So we don't know, But this is at the opening. Isn't that wonderful with Eddie Murphy?
God. Amazing.
Oh, wow. He really is the king of the world. I mean, can you imagine at the Chinese pig? Oh, and can you imagine people are going and they're sitting there going, "This is ridiculous. I can't believe this guy has a movie." And then you watch that movie and you're like, "God damn, that was fucking good."
Yeah.
Because, right? It was a surprise. This was
so
not
good.
supposed to be good. And then a young Tim Burton, Pee-wee had to say, "I like this guy." He chose Tim Burton to direct it.
It was just between Tim Burton's sensibility and Pee-wee's humor and the Danny Elfman music and the Rube Goldberg machine making the eggs. Like, it was just perfect. Oh wait, was that was Pee-wee's Big Adventure or or was that Pee-wee's Big Top with the Rube Goldberg thing making breakfast?
No, that was Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Yes, right.
Like the
yes.
like the thing that's going along, and you know, one of the, that's what's called a Rube Goldberg thing.
Yeah, a Rube Goldberg machine.
Oh, so this after Pee-wee's Big Adventure, he hosts Saturday Night Live, and of course the worst year ever. That's why we didn't know about it.
Yeah.
Anthony Michael Hall, Robert Downey, John Lovett's the only one who was asked to stay.
Was Randy Quaid on it too?
I think he was. Yes,
he was in a sketch that I saw them both in today.
Is that right?
It's a Pee-wee sketch. They're like both in the locker room. Randy Quaid's trying to confide in him about how he's cheating on his wife with someone he's doing something secret behind his wife's back that makes him feel like a man. He's trying to hint at like the fact that he's seeing a prostitute, and Pee-wee keeps guessing like all this other shit that would make you feel like a man, like, oh, new shaving set, or turtle wax, or like just all this random shit. And then finally he's like, oh, Keith, well, I don't know, so maybe you should just go see a hooker. And like, that's the end of the sketch.
Well, he brought in Phil Hartman and the genie guy to write for him for SNL, and that's how he introduced Phil Hartman to Lorne Michaels.
Oh wow! So that's to his credit.
Although Phil Hartman and him had a falling out for a long time because he felt he did not get enough credit for creating the character, helping create Pee-wee, and helping with the movie. He was very upset by that.
Oh wow!
And he really had a lot to do with creating the character. It is true.
That sucks.
And this God. After that, he was the first guest on Joan Rivers' new talk show.
Look at that! Look at all that hair.
Isn't that unbelievable?
It's like a full Neapolitan.
The 80s.
Yeah.
And Elton John, Cher, and Pee-wee. Then and the best part again is what is it? Was it 10 years later? I don't know, but years later he does a Pee-wee's Playhouse Christmas special, and he gets Cher.
She knew what's up.
I like they keep the relationships.
Yeah.
I like that, And then like you said, he's in the original Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Look at how fucking fly he is. He looks like Al Pacino. He's hot.
Yeah, he looks amazing. And he gets killed, and he just looks cool, and he looks like he's having a good time. And
it's a baddie.
Yeah, and that's hard to do when you're the director saying, but everybody knows you as Pee-wee. And he's like, no, I'm an actor. I can do anything. And it's pretty cool.
He could disappear into a role. I feel
yeah,
like
he really could, which is interesting.
potential.
This is him in Matilda.
Matilda! He was in Matilda, the fucking FBI agent that's snooping on Danny DeVito. Perfect. He was so fucking good.
Unbelievable, right? I was watching that the other day, and I'm like, geez, that looks like Pee-wee, but it's probably not. Why wouldn't I know that already? This is all in the 80s. This is all Matilda, I think, was 86, so this is all after Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Matilda was in the 90s, because that's Mara
Wilson.
Was? She's younger than me. So
okay.
Yeah, that was like in the mid-90s.
If it was in the 90s, was it 1990? I mean, was it like really early?
No,
90s?
no. I feel like this was post
96.
Mrs. Doubtfire. Yeah.
Oh, so this is post his situation.
I think it's post his situation. Yeah, they were trying to bring him back,
Yeah, it's after Nightmare Before Christmas, after Dunstan checks in.
Yeah.
There you got a Hollywood star, I think in 88. So you got it pretty early on. A lot of people were hanging out there today. Now this, as we all know, is Big Top Pee-wee. Now, the gag on this show is he kisses the most beautiful girl you've ever seen, Valerie Galino, I think her name is.
Outkicks his coverage.
Here's the gag. The script called for Pee-wee and her to engage and embrace long enough to beat the 3-minute, 5-second record set by Jane Wyman and Regis Toomey in the 1941 film You're in the Army Now. So that was their plan. For some reason, let's on Big Top Pee-wee beat the longest kiss ever in the history of film. So they filmed the kiss for 3 minutes and 16 seconds, but they only actually and he was livid that they were going to cut it, and he almost like just walked out. But they kept a minute and a half of it, and I think it kind of ruined the film because people were very confused.
I thought the gag was just sort of like, those SNL sketches where the gag is like, can you believe how long this has been going on? Isn't that funny in and of itself? Because the camera pans all the way out and then holds, and like you think, okay, it's going to be over soon. And then it pans all the way back in, and it's like, okay, that's kind of funny.
Right. But here's what Roger Ebert said, which is why this movie didn't work. And it's very interesting. He says, in a comparison to previous Pee-wee works, Ebert claimed that what had made Pee-wee's Playhouse and Pee-wee's Big Adventure great was the characters in those have absolutely no connection with reality whatsoever. And that is why they were so enduring and enjoyable. And this one, I think they made a little bit realistic.
I mean, it was quasi-realistic, but also like, yeah, realistic that a circus blows onto your farm and that fucking Chris Christopherson.
Not that far, but I know what he's saying, and that's the reason I think I can't connect with the film either.
I watched it when I was a kid. It's a great movie if you're a kid because it's not completely weird, and there's a talking pig and like a hot dog tree. It hits all the little kid buttons, know.
No, I agree, of course, and that's why.
I would say it's further from reality than the first one.
Who was the woman, the actress who was married? No, Susan Tyrrell. It was Susan Tyrrell who plays Chris Christopherson's like little Thumbelina wife that he keeps in his pocket.
That's his wife.
Yeah.
Right. Yes, that's of course ridiculous, but funny. Meanwhile, it's possible, Mike, that they were dating.
Oh, wow.
It is rumored. And so then I found that this is possible. I mean, it makes no sense. I mean, geez, something else.
Smoke show, big nose queen. Love it.
Yeah. And the only other thing she was in was Rain Man, which is a pretty good thing to be in. But look, there they are. This is off the set. And the most telling thing of all is this photo where they're holding hands. Oh, he's getting kissed from Miss Universe, and they are totally holding hands.
Nothing makes me happier than a nerdy, nice guy getting a total smoke show on his arm. That's just like, yay!
So the other person I had heard him be connected with was Debbie Mazar, who was very lovely back in the day. You might remember her from Goodfellas and a whole bunch of other stuff.
And was she the wife?
No, she was the...
he was the one who didn't do the dishes, and that's why he got cut.
Yeah, she was the...
Oh my God, that's funny.
The coke whore. There's no other reason to call it that. She was the friend of the mistress, and then he started sleeping with her too. She'd been around for years, and apparently she was a huge help to him after the incident, and they fell in love, but it has been told, as she had said on the Andy Cohen show, that it was completely... They were in love, but it was platonic in that sense.
Okay.
So we don't know what his story is eventually. This is my favorite because he's on 227 with Jack Hay.
Fuck yes.
But the best is, when we go back to that Gong show, if you watch the video, he's doing the tiptoe dance.
Yes.
He was good at standing on his toes. Him and that other guy. And here he is teaching Oscar winner Regina King how to do the tequila dance, which is fantastic.
Oh my God, the 80s were just such a wild time.
Isn't that great?
Oh my God, it's amazing.
And there he is with a net-footed cello. They bought they remember all those beach blanket movies, so they bought a new one back in the 80s. And
was that Back to the Beach? Back to the Beach? Yes. Oh my God, my ex was obsessed with that fucking movie.
Really?
Yeah, well, because he's probably your age, and he was just obsessed with and he loved Back to the Beach because it was poking fun at all the beach movies that had preceded it, with the shitty backdrop when he's surfing and Annette Furnicello dancing around, even though she has MS, which is just badass.
She does?
Yeah.
She's still alive?
I don't know. Is she? No. I don't know. I'm not the person to ask.
And there he is in Batman Returns, which I did not even know it was him until I saw the end credits.
Yeah.
He plays the Penguin's father. Is that what you just said?
Yeah, the
Mhm.
But
Penguins.
you know why do I like this? Because he's working with Tim Burton again. Because Tim Burton knows that he got Tim Burton to where he was, and he goes, "I'm going to give a part to my boy."
Mm-hmm.
I can't
And
tell
that
you how happy
Funicello
that
died
made me.
2013.
What did you say?
Aw, yeah,
that-
2014.
Oh, Annette Funicello.
Yeah.
But isn't that?
2013.
And then he ends up playing the Penguin's father on the TV show of Gotham.
Oh my God.
Isn't that
Someone was
great?
asking me about this the other night if I ever watched Gotham, and that's probably why, because we were talking about Pee Wee and he mentioned
Well, he didn't come
was
in
on
until a
it.
later season. I had already finished, but I watched the first 3 seasons. The guy who played the Penguin was terrific and very much like Pee Wee in many ways, but evil. Because
Yeah.
Pee Wee, you know, you could totally play that character a different way. And I guess that's what this guy did. And then later on, they had him play his father again, which is just so great.
That's
I love
so
this
cool.
kind of stuff, you know. And then, of course, he did play Nightmare on Elm Street. He played, what was it, Locke?
Nightmare Before Christmas.
What did I say? Nightmare on Elm Street? Oh,
I didn't realize he was in this, actually.
I didn't know either.
Realize that he was he Jacques?
he plays the guy on the left. Locke.
Okay.
It's Locke,
Yeah.
Shock, and Barrel, and he plays
Yeah.
Locke.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
Danny Elfman, him, and Catherine O'Hara.
Ah, man.
Catherine O'Hara's also,
Yeah.
she plays
she's
2
the
parts.
witch. She plays.
She's the girl.
Yeah.
Wow.
Shock.
Isn't that
Barrel.
great? Danny Elfman and Tim Burton again, working together again, because they all did this amazing thing together. And there they all are, and Marilyn Manson for some reason. But
It's like a goth paradise.
this isn't 2016. That's
Oh my
what makes
God.
me so happy. It's only a
Aw.
couple years ago, you know.
Yeah.
He looks
I
like
think he's
Seinfeld
there
there.
because they did a revamped soundtrack to the movie with
Oh, they did?
more modern contemporary artists,
Mm.
and
Is that Bono?
Where?
no,
Here?
that's
No.
Tim Burton.
Oh my God, his hair looks so neat.
Wait, this
for
is
Tim Burton.
That's Tim Burton, and that's
Tim
Danny
Burton, Pee Wee,
And there's Danny,
Danny
and
Elfman,
Marilyn
and
Manson,
Marilyn Manson. Yeah,
blowing out the photo with his overexposed face.
Elfman.
yeah. There
That's
he is on
usually
Murphy
me.
Brown,
Oh my God.
obviously after the incident.
Mm.
But he looks so great and cool. And that
Yeah.
in 2011, he brought his show to Broadway. He was back after all the what would we call it, the not Me Too,
Controversy.
cancellation.
Mhm.
Who he invented canceling before there was canceling. He brought back the show, and I believe, and it's on HBO. I believe Judd Apatow. I think he was doing it live again. He did a
Mm.
couple of live shows, and Judd Apatow, I think, saw it and said, "I want to bring it to Broadway and make an HBO show."
That's cool. You know, the one thing I will say for the new wave of cancel culture was like once we started canceling people for really legitimate reasons, we sort of uncanceled people who were canceled previously for stupid reasons. You know what I mean?
I
Like-
know, but that's the thing is like what he got canceled for. The worst part is that, you know, you're technically doing a children's show, even though we all
Yeah,
know
I
it
know.
wasn't really for children. So
Right.
You know,
It's like
you
if
did the one for children. I mean,
you did the
that's not
worst
important.
thing possible you could do.
it's
in
like
that situation.
if Soupy Sales was caught with his dick in a glory hole, it wouldn't have looked too
Exactly,
good.
right.
Yeah.
Well, he got
Right.
Soupy Sales was the one who got canceled for telling kids to send them their parents' money.
Send him $1. Send Soupy $1. Yeah.
Oh,
Go to
that's
your-
right.
your parents' wallets and find the pictures of presidents.
Fucking
That's so
rad.
funny. And right, and it worked, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much it worked, but he got fired. Well, he got in trouble for it. I don't know if he got
Oh.
fired.
But this, like, Pee Wee would have been better off probably shooting somebody by accident
Oh my God.
than to do what he did. But everybody was so excited to have him back. And then, you know, here he is with Joe Manganiello. Did I pronounce that right? In 2011 at the Spike TV Scream Awards. And again, the reason I love it, because this is the guy he uses 5 years later in the last Pee Wee's Big Holiday. Did you see that
Aw.
one, Molly?
I didn't. I
you didn't
missed
see
it.
it?
It was a
It was
Pee Wee
very
like Christmas
good.
special, right?
I saw it. I couldn't wait. I saw it the first day it came on because I couldn't even believe there was a third one. I feel like Judd Apatow had something to do with this too. I'm not positive. And Yeah, Judd Apatow put this together. That's what it was, and it was okay. It's a little gay, like really gay, like it's a little much, but it was fun, and he looked amazing. They used digital technology to make him look younger,
Aw.
and it worked. But I just like that he uses these guys. He has these photos with them 5 years before, and then he ends up using them. And here he is in the fucking Blacklist with
Oh
James
my
Spader.
god, so funny.
Ain't that cool?
Yeah. Aw. Rest in peace, King.
Yeah, he was a really interesting, cool guy, and it's too bad. Yeah. I think we missed a lot of years from. Oh, are you going to play the thing?
I'm sorry I took the money.
That's what it is.
Sorry I took the money. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
He also had that line, "I want hamburgers." Yeah, I remember that one, and I didn't know where it was from for years. I had no idea it was from Nice Dreams. I never would have figured that out. But
Oh my
yeah,
God.
it's such a bummer. He's so cool, and yeah, I feel like that. Ironically, that Pee Wee could have gone on forever. I mean, he still looked young.
He still looked great, and no one knew he was sick, and it just felt so sudden. And he had such a great presence online. He was like one of the few people that managed not to be annoying online. He was always sharing cool, funny shit. That's why I sent you the thing of the aqua car because we were talking about it, and oddly enough, that was his Instagram page that shared the video.
Oh, that's so weird. Yeah, you
Yeah.
did show me that. Yeah, I thought maybe you would. I would have thought your mom would have worked with him. He seemed like the kind of guy your mom would be very interested in meeting.
Oh, she loved him. We had the Pee Wee Herman doll with the pull string that spoke when I was a kid. We were just always watching his stuff. And my mom's like a tough nut, but sometimes like silly shit will just make her crack up. And he just always made her laugh. It's just such a pure joy. I feel like he brought people pure joy.
That's nice.
So,
yeah, I guess he did. And you know him from so it's funny when I remember exactly where I was when that show came out, the TV show. I mean, it's just such a fan of his for such a long time. And then that movie came out and it was amazing. And then the TV show. I remember I was working at a restaurant and nobody wanted to work on Saturday mornings. I was already 40, but nobody wanted to work on Saturday mornings because they wanted to watch the show and they didn't want to miss Pee Wee's Playhouse, which, then they always made me work Saturday mornings because I was, like I said, already older than everybody else.
Could you tape it? Did you have one of those VCRs that would record things when you
Yes,
were in it?
which is exactly why he shouldn't have been in that theater. Holly, I don't know whether I ever told you, but my friend finally, I can't say this on stage because I do, but nobody believes me. And it finally got confirmed. My friend Evan, who is a researcher, confirmed it. There, not only was there only porno theaters you had to go to, to see if you want to see porn. And the worst part, Molly, is you had to go with your friends. It was so pathetic.
For the group discount.
Oh, it was. You didn't want to go by yourself because then you'd be like Pee Wee, and it was weird. So, anyway, in New Jersey on the Garden State Parkway, when you're coming back from the beach, there was a legendary drive-in movie theater, and you could always see the movie from the Parkway. And I remember explicitly, and I think I've definitely told this on my podcast, and I've told the people here, in 1973, I guess, or 75, Shampoo. It was a Warren Beatty movie.
I hate that stupid movie.
You do?
I don't know why. Well, there's things about it that I like, but I'm also just like, every person in this movie is such a piece of shit. And the one person who isn't is so fucking annoying.
Julie Christie. Yeah.
No, the one person, it's actually Goldie Hawn. She's like the only innocent one. But
I thought
she's like
Julie Christie was the innocent one.
Julie Christie's the one who's like fucking the rich guy, but he's fucking her, and then at the end she runs off with the rich guy, right? And it's supposed to be like
I don't remember now.
It's just one of those movies where everyone's fucking everybody and has good hair, and I'm just like,
yeah. But the reason, whatever it was, I didn't know about it as a kid. I just know it was a very successful movie, made a lot of money. and we were going past the theater once, the drive-in, and my mother goes, "Oh my God, I just saw the scene everybody just told us about." Like all her friends were like, "Oh my God, you have to see the scene with Lee Grant when she gets drunk." And she goes, "Oh my God, I just saw that scene. Isn't it funny that we walked by and we just saw that scene?" Because you could see it right from, you couldn't hear it, but you could see it at the drive-in. You had at least a good 10 seconds or 15 seconds before, you didn't see it anymore. It was right on the Parkway. And then after that, in the late 70s, early 80s, they changed it to porn. And you would drive up the Parkway and see complete porn.
Did it just cause like massive slowdowns on the Parkway, or was everyone
That's
just
the weird
like
part? Nobody even I mean, they look at it, but nobody complained and nobody cared. And it was just so weird. But I remember it vividly and then I finally, my friend found an article that said that it existed, because no one believes me that they would face the porn theater right to the Parkway where people are just coming back with their kids from the shore. And this is what you're seeing, but it was a thing.
That's so funny.
But that's, yeah, I mean, you did go, people went by themselves, but you weren't supposed to do anything in there. You're just supposed to download it in your head and use it later. That was
that makes no sense to me, because it's like it's a theater that's showing pornographic movies and it's dark and everyone's sitting there. To me, it's sort of like, it's not like the way they used to do serials at the movies. You know what I mean? Where it's like, oh, I saw the cliffhanger part of this last week and now I need to come back and see how she comes. You know what I mean?
It was awful because you had to. That's why Pornhub is brilliant. Just clips. Because you didn't need to see a whole movie, but they, if you've seen, what's the movie that Burt Reynolds is in, the one with Johnny, the where he makes all the porn with Boogie Nights. Right. You see that they're making actual movies with plots and stuff like that. I mean, that's the way it was.
I don't need a
watch
plot.
the movie, and it was, God, it was awful.
It's so funny. Because it used to be plot driven. Like, here comes the pizza guy, here comes the pool guy, here comes the plumber with the big hose or whatever. But like, I don't need a plot. But sometimes if I'm watching porn, I will get annoyed if the editing is bad, because it's like there's still a continuity that needs. I
still need
achieved.
a story, but I don't want to watch the whole movie. I still need a story.
Yeah.
I need the story badly. That's the way it works for me.
I want the meat cute. I want to know how.
Well, I'm glad we got to talk about.
Dave just wants cute meat. So.
What? How dare you?
Nice.
Well, that is our show for today. We talked Pee-wee for an hour. Obviously, I had other slides, but we don't need them, because we wanted to make this all about Pee-wee today. Because that's why I'm so glad you sent me that, Molly, that we talked, because I'm like, oh, perfect. If you like Pee-wee, then I'd like to talk about him too.
Oh, good. This felt like a healthy way to grieve and honor his memory.
Yeah. Do you have anything coming up that we should know about?
Nothing. No dates. No nothing. Just striking and writing things that there's no demand for, so it doesn't violate the strike. And
well, we all do that.
And doing some little music shit on the side up here in Vermont.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, I hooked up with a bass player and a drummer. So we're all very apologetic. So we thought maybe we'd call ourselves the Blame Takers and have very cute names like, I'm sorry, Molly. This is Regretful Randy. We're really sorry to be here. That kind of thing.
Can we hear one of the songs one time when you come back?
Actually, well, on a YouTube, if you go to my page, there's a playlist that's just all my music, and some of those songs are the ones that we're rehearsing: Start a Fire, Schizophrenic Heartache, stuff like that. They're all originals. I'm playing guitar. It's just my own shit. So it's been fun.
I love it. Yeah. Good. I was wondering what you were doing, up there.
It would be wrong to come here and not plug something.
Oh, yeah. No, I agree. Mike, where are you performing this week? That you're still in Texas. Leave.
I don't have any shows this week, but you can still check out Retrospective Promenade with me, Alex, and Aubrey. This last episode,
Romancing the Stone. That's a good one. I never saw the sequel. That first one was pretty good.
Juvenile's more wacky, but Romancing the Stone's a better movie by far.
Yeah, Romancing the Stone's really good. and it changed Michael Douglas's fortune. I think he was coming off the streets of San Francisco, and it made him that movie actually made him more of a leading man, and he could do comedy and everything. Made him a movie star, I think.
And Danny DeVito.
Yeah, I guess so. Right.
Danny DeVito's barely in the first one. He's like more prominent in the second one. But he's
remember,
great.
and then they
Every scene
made
he's
kind
in
of
the
a
first one's awesome.
trilogy. I mean, the three of them, they did Jewel of the Nile. Then they also did War of the Roses.
Yeah.
Oh, I love War of the Roses.
Really? I've never seen it.
Oh, it's
That movie's
so
great.
much fun. Oh, it's just pettiness unhinged. Good times.
Oh. And that was directed by Danny DeVito.
Yes.
Yeah, which makes, again, I love when everybody gets along. They want to work together again, as we were showing today. I love that kind of thing. It really makes me happy.
Me too.
Well, Randy the Stone is Indiana Jones for women. So.
Oh my
Right. Well,
God.
that was why it had trouble at first. I remember when Michael Douglas hosted Saturday Night Live, and he goes, "Go see Romancing the Stone." He was promoting it, and because no one knew what it wasn't working, because they're like, "This is stupid. There's Raiders of the Lost Ark, so we don't need Romancing the Stone." And then you found out that it actually was terrific.
Yeah.
You know,
I never
like
saw it.
The what?
I never saw Romancing the
Oh,
Stone.
it's very, very good. It's real fun. Kathleen Turner's really. It's the movie where you'll realize what, because at this point you don't understand why she was ever famous.
Oh, she was hot back in the day. She was a smoke show.
Right.
And I still love her. I went to go see her on Broadway. She was singing a bunch of songs, and she's still fucking fierce. It's like to see her being like, "It's only a paper moon." And you're just like, "I love you. This is amazing."
Yeah, look at her there, right? And it's great the way they make it in the movie, where she's, very not as attractive at first. She's not wearing makeup, and then they make her prettier as the movie goes on, which is a lot of fun too.
Is it like they fall down a cliff in a waterfall, and all of a sudden her tight bun comes unbound and her hair's just everywhere? And
Yes,
that's
it
her-
is.
Well, her clothes get more disheveled throughout the trip, and then Michael Douglas doesn't give a shit. He's just like he's an aloof asshole the entire time. And
He's
she's
just
like,
as gorgeous
"That's
as she is in that photo.
Yeah, they're going toe
Wow.
to toe. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
They teach each other how to be better people.
Oh,
Mm.
how delightful. Obviously, I told you I will be at the Comedy Cellar August 14th, 9:35 show. Thanks everybody for coming. Anonymous, we won't see you next week. And Ange and Cammie, nice to see you. Catalina, Marcy, Liz, nice to see everybody as usual. Again, we're going to be virtual next week, because even though Mike will be in town, there's somebody else who's using the studio. What? I don't know what that's all about, but then after that, maybe we'll be back at the studio again. But hopefully every time we're virtual, Molly, you always have an open ticket here, an open invitation.
Aw,
to join
thank
us.
you.
I mean,
always
we'd love to have you in
having
the studio, but I don't know when you're ever coming back to the city.
I'm going to be there. Actually, I am going to be there. And if it doesn't work out with the studio, we should still try to hang. I'm going to be in New York, probably from the 13th until the 19th to.
Well, come to the show on the 14th. I'm getting people together because it's my birthday.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Awesome.
Perfect.
Yes.
Done and done. All right, everybody. We'll see you next time on the Comedy Cellar Nightly Show. Good night.
Bye.